All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing. I have 2 kids, so whatever. My name's Doug McGibbon. I'm the Special Magistrate. As I like to say, if you have a code enforcement issue, you are in the right place. So one of the first things we'll do after we get through some of the crying is we will swear everyone in, and we'll probably do that once or twice as people walk in late, because they always do. So everyone, please raise your right hand. Say, I do when we're done. Does everyone swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Everyone except the lady there with the brown purse. All right, and as I said, we'll probably do that once or twice more. Most of the hearings we're going to have this evening are going to be fine assessment hearings or violation hearings. In those cases, the village will go first. When you hear your name called, you'll go up to that podium over there and you'll identify yourself. They will show you a series of documents. They'll ask you if you object, and then you get to go and present your side of the case after they're done with theirs. That process will flip when we get to the fine reduction hearings. Those people have been through a violation and a fine assessment hearing, and they're asking for relief, so they get to go first. I think I basically covered it through all the crying, and take it away, Village of Royal Palm Beach.
Thank you. Amity Barnard, Assistant Village Attorney. We're going to start on page 1 of the agenda with the status/fine assessment hearings. Case number 19-0293, 104 Granada Street, Barris A. and Marjorie L. Reed.
Gail McLean, Code Enforcement for the
Reed.
Royal Palm Beach.
There you are. Kind of missed you earlier.
Gail McLean, Code Enforcement for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to enter into evidence Exhibit 1, the previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, affidavit of verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, so we're still dealing with the lower panel of
The garage.
the garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to finish the painting on the
And to
house.
finish the painting on some of the lower sections.
Yes, and the rest of the house.
Thank you, sir. Can you state your name for the record?
Barris Reed.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order granting continuance. Page 2 of the order. Exhibit 2 is the proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photographs of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No, I do not.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Reed, we've been here a few times. You know where we are. Where are we in the process here? Last time you tried to get someone to give you some wood that'll fix it.
Where I am right now is I finally got a company to that is doing the thing. I've had to, the way they do it. As a matter of fact, let me first start with, I need to finance this, okay, because I'm retired. My wife's retired. We both get pension once a month, all right? So I do not have the cash to pay for the garage to have it done at once. So I found a company that is willing to finance. I have to pay for it. I did that, and here's documentation of that, all right? And I have to make another payment before they can start. They can pull the permit.
Okay, well, you seem to have some documents there you want to show the village's attorney, and as long as we have something signed up, I'm on board with this.
This is the bottom one is the same copy as the.
Okay, can the village keep this copy?
Yes, you can.
Okay. 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 So you've retained them, I take it?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right, so when are they gonna pull this permit?
They don't want to pull it until they
Get a payment out of you.
until 2 weeks because they say it has a time range, the permit, and they don't want to pull it, so it'll expire before I finish.
Well, the
paying for it.
time range is usually 6 months, so they're talking a little bit, but whatever, I don't
No,
care.
it's not going to be that long. Definitely not.
Yeah, okay, all right, what is the village's position?
Well, unfortunately, we're, at the last hearing, we told the respondent that that was the last continuance that was going to be granted. This this has been continued for many, many months now. I would like to hear when he thinks this is going to be done, not just a permit
Well,
pull,
I'd
because
like
there
to
are two
just,
issues.
okay, the staining and the garage door.
Right, one of which can be corrected without the permit being pulled. So
Okay,
we've been trying to work with the respondents. However, this was written in February, so we're
all right, I know. But he keeps showing up,
correct.
and he keeps going through the process,
Yeah.
and I have to be somewhat cognizant of people's financial problems when we get to these. He tried to get a replacement wooden door, which I think became impossible just because you can't buy the wood anymore, which would have fixed his problem earlier. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time. Hopefully this will be the last time I have to give you, and you'll have the garage door up and going here very soon. So what are your dates on these normally now?
It would be continue to 11/11 or appearance at the 11/13 fine assessment hearing. And we'll maintain the $50 a day fine.
Okay, it's going to be another status fine. And remember, Mr. Reed, this does not excuse you from the painting part. So get out there.
No, does not excuse me from what, sir?
It does not excuse you from the painting part. You
Oh,
still,
no, definitely.
still have to do the painting. So
Yeah,
get
but this seems to be, the one that requires money and.
right.
that's
I
the problem.
understand, but the painting part also gets you goodwill and progress.
Okay, all
Get
right.
that one done
I understand.
ASAP, and I'm bouncing you until November 11th.
I understand that,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you.
And that's because you just keep showing up. So
All right,
let
thank
that
you
be a
very
lesson to
much.
anyone else who's watching. Next, please.
Thank you, sir. Moving to the fine assessment hearings, case number 19-0608, 2734 Misty Oak Circle, Margaret Fleury and Raymond J. Kelly.
Okay.
I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, Exhibit 3, pictures, and Exhibit 4 is an AS 400 printout showing that they have not applied for the permit for the gazebo.
They have or have not?
Have not.
Okay.
I have a question.
All right, you have a signed green card, so you have service. You can proceed.
I have applied for the permit, but I was told, okay,
We'll get to all of those details in just
Okay.
one second. Can you state your name for the record?
Margaret Ferry.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation.
Mhm.
Page 2 of that order, as well as the signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership, just showing that you own the property.
Mhm.
Exhibit 3, the order. Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation.
Which recorded.
Okay, we'll get there.
Okay.
These are dated today, so we'll get there.
I
We cut it
appreciate
after she was there. And then Exhibit 4 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objection to just the documents?
Not on the document because these have been done.
Yep, and you can explain that to the magistrate.
Okay.
Are those copies for the village?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just that with the permit for the survey, I did not know that I needed a survey because I have a survey, but I was told it's too old. I came to apply for the permit, and they told me the permit is not valid because it's over 2 years old. So, and I've been looking for someone to do the survey for me. That the lady told me to look for somebody that did the survey before. So I called them. They're out of service because it's been 15 years. So I called this company. I have them. They're asking me for $385 to do the survey. And I'm asking for more time because I'm the only one who's working. I have a son, a 3-year-old son. My husband is not working. So I'm the only person working it, and it's hard for me to come up with $400 right now, and I'm asking for more time.
Okay, so,
I did not know that we needed a survey because they didn't take our survey.
all right.
We
well,
have a
there
survey.
are setbacks and other things the village needs to make sure that you're not violating. All right, so we have, is there any objection to the
If she could state the
photographs?
date of the photos, because the date of the code enforcement officer's photos were today, so
There's a date of 10/4/19 on the corner. I don't know what that, when did you take these pictures?
About what is it, Sunday? Sunday or
When
Monday?
would the
What do the
fourth be?
pictures show?
that, I think the.
I have it on my phone.
All right,
Can we jump to the code officer? I believe they're of the.
yeah, there's a,
I think the 4th was Friday.
Last Friday, maybe.
okay,
Yeah.
this is a
Painted.
10/4 date on there, that's
Yeah.
why.
Okay, yeah, actually, my pictures show that you've done something to the bougainvillea to kill it, but it still needs to be pulled down out of the trees.
It's
And
hard.
also, you still have staining on the structure besides the gazebo.
I have a paper from somewhere, somebody's gonna come to do the, magic bubble, gonna come and clean the total house and the roof. I
Okay.
have it if you wanna look at it. It's dated for
it's right
October
here.
19.
Against the house.
Okay, so we have progress here, so,
And just for the record, the gazebo is up against the house, so it's not in the setbacks.
okay. Well,
Sorry, what
that's
did you
good. Well,
say?
that's, but then you're just throwing a $400 requirement at her for the,
Well,
It's
so-
part of the permit process.
I understand that. It's just, you know,
Because of
it,
pervious and impervious, it has to do with the FEMA flood.
oh, there's
maps.
all kinds of stuff it has to do with that, yeah.
And I'm asking, can you waive the permit for me? Because I'm
No,
having financial
I
hardship.
cannot waive a permit. I'm just a special magistrate.
It's almost $400. It's gonna kill me.
It's not the $400 for the permit, it's the $400 for the survey.
That's what I'm saying,
You-
for the
you-
survey.
Yeah, I cannot do that. I'm not a building official. I'm just a
This is.
independent contractor who shows up to do their hearings. So I can't waive, I cannot waive the village's thing. You can go to the village manager and ask, but I can't do that.
Which
not-
manager?
You had initially told me you were gonna take that down rather than get a permit, and you've
I
not
mean,
done
if
that.
I told you possibly, not, I didn't tell you, yes, I'm gonna take it.
Okay, well, we're gonna give you a date to have things done.
no, this
and if-
is a fine
Oh, fine
assessment hearing,
assessment
so
hearing, so-
she has not complied timely. She's out of
I did.
compliance.
No, you haven't fixed it. The problem is fixing it. If you're in a violation status, as Mr. Reed was, you know, I was giving time to bump
Sir.
these things along.
Sir, I painted
Okay.
the thing, I show you, I painted, I cut the lawyer said, all you have to do is cut the tree, and the tree will die. So the
Okay.
tree is dying. Now, if you're telling me to go and.
Well, you've got a
pull out the-
gazebo built there with a tarp on it that does not have a permit.
I understand, I didn't know, I didn't
Right,
know
and
that
if
I
you want a
needed
permit, you have to go apply for one.
I
And I-
am applying for one, but I went and applied. They told me I needed a survey, which I did not know I needed a survey for to reapply for a survey because the survey was too old.
Okay. All right, well, I can only stop things so much. So what do you want?
Asking to give me a couple of months so I can get the survey done, to get the $400, and everything will be done. Because I cannot afford another fine. I'm already having fine, I'm the only one working.
Your previous order was dated from July 16th, so we gave several months for compliance on
I
this, so,
understand that, but you know, if you want a tight budget,
correct.
if you're on a tight budget, to save money, it's hard, especially I have a 3-year-old baby. I have to pay daycare, I have to pay everything. And my husband, who used to work, doesn't work anymore because he has epilepsy. So I am stretched to the maximum. Stretch.
Unfortunately, as I said, we're at the fine assessment hearing. It's been out of compliance for 2 days, so we're asking for a $50 fine and continuing.
It's where I am. I'm in a position where there was an order requesting compliance. It gave you a couple of months to do something about it.
I did.
You did fix the bougainvillea growing in, well, you killed the bougainvillea, but it's still in the trees, is
Yeah,
that
it still
correct?
needs to be pulled out of the trees.
You
And the
told
structure
me-
you painted, did you paint the structure?
Yes.
Not all of it.
Not all of
No,
it?
there's still staining.
You told me just all I have to do is
Okay.
cut the tree and the tree will die. I pull a lot of shrubs, okay? I cannot pull anymore until they die all the way up, until I can cut it. And I cannot reach the top.
No, I told you at the last hearing that all needs to be pulled down out of the
I
trees,
did
and that
pull
needs
down,
to
but
be
I cannot-
maintained
it's
as
over
a
20
shrub.
feet.
All right, we've gone back and forth enough.
I did
We're
pull
at a
down.
point in the proceedings where you were given time, you haven't complied in the time given. I cannot waive things because it's not within my power,
Can I have
so
a few months
I'm
to?
going to grant the village's request for a $50 fine continuing daily until completed.
How am I gonna pay it?
I do
How
not know.
am I gonna pay it?
I do not know.
$50 fine. I told you I don't have $400 right now to do the survey. I'm asking for 2 months, sir. 2 months, please.
You were already given a couple of months.
Yes, but
I can't go ahead and do any more. All right, next case, please.
Thank you. Next, page 2, case 19-1287, 297 Ponce de Leon Street, David Bergstein, OBO, AKBM Limited Partnership.
I'd like to enter into evidence the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, Exhibit 3, pictures, and Exhibit 4, work order from Public Works.
All right. Which property is this? It's
Mr. Newsom's
Mr.
property.
Newsom's house? Okay. All right, you have a signed green card. You can proceed.
But it's coming back for assessment.
David Bergstein.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit one is the previous order finding violation, village abatement,
I know that.
delivery.
I know.
Son, I just want to see
I
who's
know.
on
I have no idea.
it. The wife. I can always bang her. Can that get entered in the record?
Sure. Exhibit two is the work order and the documentation for the abatement work that was done.
Oh, that was the little fence that they, temporary thing that they put in, I
And
understand.
then the final exhibit is proof of ownership. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No, I just want to put down taxes and stuff. No.
Thank you.
Okay. So, I drive by this on the way home all the time. You've got a hole in the fence. Been there for weeks. Got thousands of school kids walking by there every day. It's my pet peeve. I do not want kids drowning.
I don't disagree with you on.
So why isn't the fence fixed?
I received this property in a sheriff's sale on August 20th. We didn't have a writ of possession. This is a 6-year ongoing court case. I don't live there. This is not my property until officially on the sheriff's deed, which if you want to see, it's on August 20th. I didn't have a writ of possession from the municipality until September 12th, a day after this order was taken. Since then, I've spoken to Gail on the phone. Originally, I think my father spoke to Lou. As of this morning, we went, as soon as we took possession, I called them. We are complete in fixing up the house. We have the permit pulled by my GC this morning and paid for to put in for everything. I don't disagree with you at all but we didn't have possession of the house until the 12th of September, which
And
is
this
the day
is now
after this.
October what?
Until we were able to get everything with
You've had
Gail and
almost a
Lou-
month to
I'm
put,
sorry?
you've had almost a month to put a temporary fence up.
Yeah, there's a temporary fence already put in there by them.
The piece of red plastic.
That wasn't
wrap in
by us.
front
That
of
was
it.
from the city.
That
I
was from the
understand.
city to provide at least some kind of barrier.
Correct. We've been
to the
working
hole.
we've been working, and Lou and Gail can attest that we've
Okay.
called and been in compliance every step of the way, and we have done everything and agreed to everything. We couldn't do anything until today, and so I'm bringing all I can do.
All right.
This is a fine assessment hearing, so we're just asking for assessment of the fine to recover the village's cost to do the abatement work that was done.
Okay.
That total is $270.54. That includes $64.54 of labor and materials, and the village's $206 in administrative costs.
Okay, 270.54?
Yes, sir.
By when? Or is it just
They don't
now?
typically have a date,
Just-
yeah.
Just now? All right, and you have made some arrangements to get the rest of that fixed? Because I do not like that hole there.
The
he
permit
has-
was paid for today and is in,
Okay.
so 100%.
Okay. Still gonna take weeks for that thing to be issued though, right?
They said this morning that it would be 2 weeks before the permit was granted. If you want to green light it, I'm okay with my contractor starting tomorrow.
Temporary out.
Well, once again, I can't give
I
permission
know,
to the
I
village. I
understand.
just don't like
Sure.
that problem sitting there in front of the
I didn't-
elementary
yeah,
school.
exactly.
Well, you had spoken to my supervisor, Linda Walker, and she had told you that once the permit comes in the office, you can put the fence up
Okay. I didn't speak to Linda,
Based-
not me. I
based
spoke to
on
you.
the security of the pool.
Was it your dad then?
It may have been my
Somebody
father
did.
at some point,
Because
but
we-
once
we
we
went
fixed
the
that
whole-
outside, that interior piece, the previous owner had torn down his, we all know that story, had torn it down, and so forth. So once we fix the fence, the outside is the exterior. There'll be no problems with any pool issues, of course.
Okay. $270.54 granted.
Thank you. Next is 19-0858, 196 Dove Circle, Saku J. Guthrie and Donna Kelly.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. And Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
All right, so they applied. All right, you have an affidavit of service, so you have service and can proceed.
Donna Kelly.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation, page 2 of that, as well as an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violations. And Exhibit 4 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objection to these documents?
What happened is I honestly didn't know that.
You can get there in 1 second. Any objection to these documents, and then you can explain to the magistrate?
No.
Okay.
All right, admitted without objection.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a fence permit. It looks like it was applied for
Yeah, and they actually
yesterday.
did fix the other side, so they're only still having, the left side still needs fixed because it's tilting and leaning and falling down. So they've got a lot accomplished.
Okay, well, that's good. All right, seeing that they've gotten a lot accomplished, what do we want to do? What's the village's position with regard to this?
Unfortunately, again, we're at the fine assessment stage. This was required to comply by 9/26. It has not complied, so we're asking for a fine of $325 and continuing.
All right, Ms. Kelly, why shouldn't they have a fine on your property because you didn't get it done on time?
Pardon me?
Why should I grant their fine? I mean, you didn't get it done on time, you were going to explain something, so
Yes.
go ahead.
When I do 2 jobs, so I'm never home. So when I got it, I think my daughter is the one who called me at work and she read it to me. I thought it was the front because I didn't know the other side was my fence. I was told when I bought the house that it wasn't mine. So I was going under the assumption that it wasn't mine. Even though it wasn't mine, I was planning to fix it because it didn't look too good. You understand? So that is the reason really why I didn't do it on time. I got it late. Not that it deliver late, it's just that I wasn't home because I do 2 jobs. I'm never home. I go home on the weekends just for a couple hours. I work 7 days a week because my mom is sick in Boston and I have to help to take care of her. And I have things really, really hard. That's why I do 2 jobs.
Okay, so she fixed the front thinking the front was a problem?
Yes.
And then she
had to
comes
get a
out to
permit for
find that,
because she didn't pull a permit, put the front up.
all right, so she fixed the front, but she didn't realize she needed a permit. Now
Right.
she's getting a permit to fix the other part that she didn't think was hers.
Which I did yesterday.
And we all kind of believe that?
It's what's happened so far.
Okay.
The only thing I have to add is that she didn't appear at the violation hearing. This
Which
could have been
would have
clarified.
given
All of
more-
what she needed to do could have been clarified then, and additional
Right.
time could have been given then. So
Right,
unfortunately, again, we're at the
I
fine stage.
understand, but, you know, that's, everyone saw how nice I was to Mr. Reed because he kept showing up at the violation hearings and telling me what was going on and kept informing me, and every time he'd tell me what problems were happening. And that's the real time where I have the ability to give more time and to grant more things and get things explained to people, because sometimes they don't realize they need to get permits and surveys and all kinds of other things.
As long as she just finishes and fixes that other side, then she'll be in compliance, which she did one side yesterday. So if she
Right,
could do
so-
the other one, then the fine would stop. And
Right, I understand the fine would stop, but then I have if she would have known, she possibly would have fixed both of them at the same time, but she didn't think
I
it was
didn't
hers.
know.
She didn't know.
I didn't know.
So, you know, and there was a lot of repair there. I saw in that front,
I have
a lot
pictures,
of repair.
can show you.
So, you know, here I have someone who in good faith thought they were fixing what the problem was. Now that they've realized the problem is more, they're trying to fix that as well, and I'm being asked to fine them to do it at the same time.
As soon as I found out, I jump on it. She can tell you. The minute I found out, I jump on it.
All right, we're going to status.
And the other
Status is
side
till the
will be
11
finished by Monday.
11/13 meeting.
So comply by 11/11. Status.
Well, I mean, we're going to do a status/fine assessment hearing to make sure that she is done. So she'll be done by hopefully 11/11. Her permit will be issued, her fence will be fixed, everything will be done, and I can just quietly
Right,
be
but if we
gone.
could set
And if
another
it
compliance
doesn't,
date, because it's already out of compliance,
Okay.
so
11/11 is a compliance, 11/13/25. Okay. And this is because you've done what you thought you were supposed to do
Yes.
in a timely manner and then.
And I
figured out the rest.
apologize. I
It's
honestly,
okay.
it's a misunderstanding.
Effort and activity matter. So
Pardon?
effort and activity matter, and you
Okay,
did, you
thank
did
you.
it. So,
thank you.
okay, thank you.
very much.
Next.
moving to page 3, health, safety, welfare hearings, case 19-1392, common property Versat Royal Palm Beach LP.
The code sections are 6193, 1204, 1252, 1253, 1254, and 1260. Health and safety, dumpster enclosure in disrepair, and accumulation of garbage is unsanitary. Dumpsters are inadequate for the 200 units on the property. I observed this violation on 9/24/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
Bless you. Such a pretty dumpster enclosure. Could use dumpsters in there and things. All right, you have a signed green card, you have service. Sir, for the record, you are?
Andy Silver.
And what is your position with Verse?
I'm the regional manager, and we're owned by American Landmark.
Regional Manager Works.
Yep.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that would like to enter evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, notice of violation, with the signed green card. Exhibit 2, proof of ownership.
Yep.
Exhibit 3, conditions. Any objection to these documents?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Wasn't this a different name? Was it
Hidden
Stanford
Harbor.
or something?
It was Hidden Harbor and
Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Silver, you've been shown all these photographs with
Yeah.
overflowing dumpsters and missing dumpsters and trash, and, you know, the enclosures look nice, but they aren't closed, so what's
Right.
up?
I can give you a brief backstory. So we purchased the community last November 1st, so it'll be a year, roughly in a few weeks. When we purchased the community, formerly Hidden Harbor, from Fairfield Residential, there were only 2 open containers, 8-yard containers. And we soon learned it wasn't adequate. The first problem we noticed right away was with the trash company, Republic. Oftentimes we'd have problems getting the trash picked up. Oftentimes they wouldn't show. We'd have to call them repeatedly, or they'd come one day, come very late the next day. So in talking with code enforcement, I was given and in fact at one point we tried to get Waste Management to do it, and we were told we can't. It's a franchise market, you've got to use Republic, and the service was just never good. So we were told to call Diane DeSantos here in this group, and she would be able to expedite things quickly, which has worked. In the past month or so, we've done a number of things. One, we've added another open top, so now there's a total of 3. We've fixed and repaired the gates. We've added lights so folks can see at night. We have a valet trash service, and we just received bids for a compactor. There used to be a compactor there when Fairfield owned it, but I guess at some point it broke and they disregarded it and only kept the 2 open tops. So today we have 3 open tops. We're putting in a full-fledged compactor because all the wiring is there for a compactor, because we realize we can't function properly like this. We have 6-day-a-week pickup. We've had a lot of problems with Republic, but now we call this office to get action when they don't show up. We have 2 maintenance men. One arrives at 8 in the morning, one arrives at 9. As soon as they get there, they start the picking up of the trash. The problem is, and I've been in this business about 28 years, no matter where the community is, no matter what the rent amount is, you have residents who, in the nighttime hours, they'll just throw the trash on the ground or throw it at the compactor, or they'll give it to their kid to bring over there. And it's laziness. It's just human nature, I guess. It's unfortunate. So it's a constant battle. In the last few days, code enforcement has been out there at 8 in the morning or 8:27 in the morning, taking pictures of some bags of trash on the ground. But when the maintenance gets there, the goal is to have everything cleaned up by 9. We also had a problem with the enclosures being broken by the Republic dumpster. I can say on an off note, the Republic company is just awful, and I don't mean to be negative, but
They're my trash hauler here in the village, and I don't have any problems with them. So
Well, we
you
have.
keep throwing them under the bus, it's all good.
well, we now have an out with calling Diane DeSantos, but we've added another open top. We're We're going to get rid of the 3 open tops and install a compactor.
All right, well, that still doesn't get us to the point where we have a health safety issue right now and right here. And what does the village want?
Yeah, we're not asking for abatement tonight. It was written as health, safety, welfare. There has, as you can see in the progression of
Right.
pictures, been some progress. We're asking for a compliance date to be set of 10/18 or appearance at the 11/13 fine hearing or a $100 fine. And then if it's, I presume it will be resolved, but at the fine assessment hearing, if it still remains health, safety, welfare,
Okay,
abatement may be.
the only thing I can ask in this entire process is if you're gonna go over there and you're gonna check them on 10/18, try to do it after 10 a.m. so they have their chance to get their maintenance guy running
My only
around.
problem was when I was told that, first I was told that it was the residents that were making the mess out of the dumpster enclosures. And then I was told that you have guys that go around and pick the trash up.
The
So
valet
I felt
service.
like if they're inside those enclosures, they should be kept a lot cleaner than that.
Right, and we have spoken with the valet trash company because they take the trash away from the doors, put it in the dumpsters. Today,
Oh.
everything was pressure cleaned. My only last question, if I may, is just based on the time frame as far as, obviously in the nighttime, folks will move out, they'll throw furniture, or people will throw trash. So every day, the goal is to have it cleaned by 9 o'clock or 9:30, because there's only 2 maintenance
Well,
men.
that's why I was asking code enforcement,
Right.
when they do their inspection on 10/18, that they do it after 10 a.m., so you have your opportunity for your maintenance guys to have it all cleaned up. So you know the date,
Thank you.
it won't be, 8 o'clock in the morning before you guys get there. It'll be after they've had a little bit of time to get there and fix it. And if it's a problem, then you're gonna get fined. And if it isn't, it's all good. Does that sound fair? Okay.
And you were saying that you were wanting to find $100, was that it?
Well, no, it will be $100 a day if you are not in compliance on the 18th.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
It's the 9th now?
Yes.
All right. This is one of the few orders I will be signing here. Okay. So hopefully everyone's on the same page. Your valet guys and your maintenance guys and the code enforcement officers will all be happy at 10 a.m. or later when they look at this on the 18th.
Yes, sir. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next is repeat violation hearings 19-1393, confidential record, Anthony S. and Ashanti S. Alderman.
The code sections are 2318A10, 2318B1, and 2658. This is a repeat violation for limo bus is a prohibited vehicle, and parking at residence is a violation of the home occupation regulations. I observed this violation on 9/25/19. Mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed but not dated. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, picture. And Exhibit 5, picture from their website.
Okay. There's one more thing here. Okay, you have a signed green card, you have service.
Anthony Alderman.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of repeat violation, hearing, notice of violation itself, signed green card. Exhibit 2 is the previous order, finding violation. Exhibit 3 is proof of, proof of ownership. Exhibit 4 is photographs of violation. And Exhibit 5 is from the corporate website showing the vehicle. Do you have any objections to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. So the vehicle's too big, basically?
Yes, it's a limo that he uses for his company.
All right, Mr. Alderman, what is your response?
We just lost our building where we park at, and I was parking it down in Norwood downtown, and my stepfather, he's a West Palm Beach police He patrolled the area that I had the van parked at. And he told me, he said, you need to move that van from there because they'll bust out your windows because you down in Norwood at my new office, but I can't park it nowhere down there. So he said, you need to move it. So I said, well, let me take it back to the house for now. He said, well, you can bring it to my house in Boynton. So now it's in Boynton, but now it's at a church because I put it at my uncle's church. He said, bring it to my property. And so that's where it at now. So I couldn't leave a $75,000 vehicle in Norwood with all those guys walking around all night long, you know. So I had it moved. I had to move it.
Okay. So what is the village looking at for a fine in this case?
Just a $50 fine. It was out of compliance for 1 day.
All right. So you're basically got a $50 parking ticket for parking it at your house when you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay.
Just pay it off so it doesn't turn into a lien someday.
I
All
can
right,
pay it today.
$50 is
Did I pay
great.
today right here somewhere?
No. They will not take any money from anyone, even if you're trying to give $1 million until I sign an order. And I don't sign these until like Monday or Tuesday because they've
Okay.
got 50 or so they have to put together. And then they have to check them. Then I have to check them. Then I
Yeah.
have to sign them. So probably after Tuesday of next week, you can just
Okay.
write them a check.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Moving
$50,
down.
no continuing is granted.
Thank you. Moving now to the violation hearings, 19-1135, 235 Bilbao Street, Henry Williams.
Truck.
The code sections are 14.4A and 6.190A, disabled unregistered vehicle, and drive, sidewalk, and structure stained, and structure in disrepair. I observed this violation on 7/26/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and posted them on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of service, so you can proceed.
Henry Williams.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service with the notice of hearing and notice of violation. Notice of violation itself. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is photographs. Do you have any objection to these documents?
Mustang.
No.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Disabled unregistered vehicle, that's the Mustang?
It's in compliance now, he's gotten rid of that.
Okay, so that's the finding of fact on that one, or no?
Yes, 14-4A.
All right.
And the remaining sections, we're asking for compliance by 11/29 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
The only thing he has left is the disrepair on the structure.
Oh, okay, so he's cleaned up everything else?
Yes.
Oh, I just have to draw a bigger bubble then. Okay. All right, and what is the disrepair on the structure? It's, because the yard looked impeccable. Good job there. I mean, you can see all the little spots on the bottom just
The
because you...
fascia over the garage door and in the back corner of the house.
Okay. Now, does he need a permit for that or no?
Not if it's a small, not if it doesn't turn into a great big job, if it's just,
Okay,
A
just
small
so you can
section.
tell me, they told me I didn't need a permit, so this is all
Okay.
good.
I'm trying to get somebody to fix the fascia board. So far, no one wants to do it. And I found one guy that wanted to do it, and he's charging me $1,000 to change one piece of board,
Yeah,
I got
that's
the-
crazy. You
you know?
you can almost
So-
do it yourself better.
And so I'm trying to find someone, and I don't want to do it right now because it's hurricane season. Why should I fix
Well,
the board?
you've got like 2 days left of hurricane season,
Yeah, well,
so it's not a really
and
great
then
thing.
it's
I
just
mean,
a
I
lot
might
of
give you a
money.
little bit more time on it just because you've done
Yeah.
everything else.
And it's a lot of money. I'm a single
Oh.
parent. It's just so much money.
Well, no, that's
$1,000
just-
to fix a piece
You
of
know,
wood.
you could almost pull it off yourself and fix it. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not, fascia's not structural. It's just,
Well, the guy
Oh.
told me he's got to pull the shingles up and he's got to do something with the plywood. And the shingles may break and I got to replace the shingles.
all right, well,
So, I just need some more time, really.
I'm inclined to give him some more time if he's fixed the disabled unregistered vehicle, the sidewalk and driveway stain, the garbage can screen. He's done like most of it, so he's earned a little bit more.
Can we maintain the 12/11 hearing and just bump the
Well-
compliance date out to 12/9 and give additional, another 10 days there? That's almost 2 months out from today's hearing.
All right, and just keep a good record of who you're contacting and what, because you may want to ask for more time, but at least try to get it done by December 9th, and then you won't be in a
December
problem.
9th.
It gives you a couple months almost, October, November, December, almost 2 months.
Okay.
And I don't know that they really need to rip out all kinds of things there to replace your
Yeah.
fascia. It's
I don't
usually,
really know much about it.
that's
what
usually
it-
just a little bit of space under your flashing, and they usually don't do a lot of nailing there, so. All right, 12/9, 12/11, or what, 25?
$25, yes, sir.
Or $25, granted.
Thank you, sir.
And keep in touch with Gail just to let her know, because they like to know what's going on.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Next,
19-1144, 156 Sevilla Avenue, James Akins.
Code sections are 6190A and 124C, structure in disrepair and garbage can not screened from view. I observed this violation on 7/29/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed. Like to enter evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
okay. You have a signed green card, you have service.
James Akins.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, the notice of violation, signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so it's basically the siding is buckling, or the T111, or whatever that wooden stuff you have on your house is.
Wooden stuff, that evil thing, yes.
Yes, the wood stuff in Florida is just wrong. You know, CBS is enough fun to maintain, and wood just, yeah, my neighbor across the street, he had wood on his house. He replaced every bit of the outside with hardy board. Yeah, is that what you're doing? Something similar?
Well, with court's permission, I wanted to speak to Gail. I didn't know exactly how much of structure you saw. There's more than what you saw, honestly.
Yes, I can see there's other areas.
So I have a bid here for hardy board for 27 grand. Working on financing right now, and I should know something in a few weeks on financing.
Okay, just make sure they get a permit.
Okay, well,
Right.
yeah.
All right, so we're going to bounce him to the same 12/9 thing.
Yeah, we had compliance of 11/28, but 12/9 is fine.
It
Gail,
gives him
if
just a
there-
little
if
bit
it
more
comes to a point
time.
where if I can't secure financing, am I okay without a permit, just to rip down that one piece and throw up a new piece on my own?
It probably,
It looks, pretty rough on that side, so I would say you're gonna run into some other issues when you start pulling that down.
Okay.
yeah, the rot kind of runs. But you got to do whatever you have to keep yourself in compliance.
Right.
So 12/9, 12/11.
Or $25 a day
Or
fine.
$25 a day fine. And if you've got to the point where you've got your financing, you got them getting ready to go, but they're not going to start in time, they'll work with you just to know. I mean, they just want to know that it's progressing along,
Okay.
and so they're not trying to kill you on it, but they just want to make sure it keeps going.
Of course.
And I'll be empathetic and sympathetic if you're like, I got everything done, but it's, not quite here. See,
Right.
I do people, favors if they help themselves.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
When do I need to come back or be in compliance?
You need to have, if you have a permit pulled by 12/9, will that get him there?
No, it needs to be fixed.
It needs to be fixed
Yeah.
by 12/9?
Yeah.
Okay. They want to have it repaired by 12/9, but like I said, if you're
I'm at the
getting,
mercy of the contractor, so
if
once
you're at the
financing.
mercy of the contractor and you keep filling in Gale, they may just almost agree to an extension.
Okay, all right, wonderful.
If they don't, we'll talk about it on 12/11.
Okay, thank you, have a good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, next.
Thanks. Next is 19-1148, 179 Cordoba Circle, FB Nazareth.
Code section is 6190A and 124C. Drive and sidewalk are stained and garbage can not screened from view. I observed this violation on 7/29/19. Now the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed but not dated. Like to enter evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have a signed green card.
Good afternoon, good evening. Jeffrey Seiden on behalf of JP Morgan Chase.
Thank you.
Could you spell your last name, sir?
S is in Sam, E-I, D is in dog, E-N.
And you look very dressed up. What is your position?
I'm of counsel for Kahane and Associates, representing Chase, who represents the mortgage lender that is currently foreclosing on the property.
See, I can tell an attorney dressed up.
We try here.
Yep. Okay.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is a notice of hearing, notice of violation, signed green card. Exhibit 2, proof of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents?
No objections.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, admitted without objection. You can see the garbage can's supposed to be screened and it hangs out in front. Let me guess, the Kahane is a foreclosure firm,
Yes,
and you were probably in the process thereof.
yes.
And do you have I don't know, sale date, a title, or writ of possession, any of those funny little
We are
things?
anticipating it. It recently came off a hold and a stipulation for consent judgment was reached with the borrower. The borrower has vacated pursuant to the stipulation, and JP Morgan Chase is aware of the violations, has already contacted contractors that have begun initial work to cure the violations. I believe our office has been in contact with you all, and the recommendation would be reset to November 28th, which will allow us to obtain possession thereof and hopefully cure all the violations before taking possession via writ.
All right, so 11/28, 12/11, 25. Sound good to everybody?
Works for me.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Granted. Next.
Next is 17-1178, 142 Elysium Drive, Gabriel Saldana, or Gabriel, no, Gabriel, thank you.
The code section is 6190A, structure is stained. I observed this violation on 8/2/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and posted them on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of service. It must have worked because he's standing there, so you can proceed.
Gabriel Saldana.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, the notice of violation, and then the affidavit of service. So
I
those
see.
Documents. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership.
Mhm.
And Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violations. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No, I do not.
Thank you, sir.
All right, admitted without objection. My wife says I'm colorblind, so I won't even try to comment on the color.
It's pink.
She'd probably tell me it's not pink, it's something else, but that's girls. All right, so they say your structure needs to be either cleaned or repainted or something like that.
It looks like it's been cleaned.
Yes.
However, the mold on this one side was there for so long that it's still stained. So, I mean, you might try to clean it again and it might be acceptable.
Well, they did, excuse me, they did freshly clean the house and the exterior, and they prepped it for painting.
Okay.
So that's,
Okay.
I had that done.
So you're gonna do
Last
that
week.
side, or you're gonna do the whole house, or does it matter?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you're gonna do the whole house, or you're gonna do the side? What? It
No,
doesn't-
no, everything. I'm going to
Okay.
change
Is
the
that-
color from pink to something else, because I have a new roof, an aluminum roof that was just recently put in. Yeah, it's brand new, so I had to
How
do
much is an
that.
aluminum roof these days? A lot.
A lot,
Unfortunately.
but it's a good roof, yeah.
Well, I had a friend who sold tile to the big people like Lennar and, you know, all those Pulte people, and he used to say, "Yeah, our tile roof's good for 30 years or more," and I'd look
Yes,
at him and
it is.
say, "But Michael, your metal roofs are good for 50 or more years," and he'd look at me and go, "Yeah, right."
Well, anyway, that was remediated,
okay.
so, you know, it's good.
All right, so you, what are we looking at? 11/28 for this one?
Yes, or
Can
12/11.
you get it done? Are you going to have it done by 11/28 or the?
I'll need a little bit more time.
How about
Front-
12/9? That gives you till almost 2 months from now.
Painting, yes, after the hurricane season, this is great, yeah.
12/9, 12/11,
$25.
$25. I'll sign that order, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I forgot to say this, and I'm very, very sorry. It doesn't matter if you go fix it tonight, and I've literally seen people go home and fix stuff tonight. The guy with the hole in the fence, the prior owners,
Well,
I
you
saw them
know-
fixing a door that night. But it doesn't count unless you call code enforcement and tell them to come out for a reinspection.
I
If
see.
you ever look at my code enforcement orders, there's like a couple of bold spots, but there's only one bold sentence. It says, please call for a reinspection. So as soon as you get it done, call for a reinspection. You want what they have, or you want something in your file called a certificate of,
Affidavit of
or
compliance.
affidavit of compliance, which will give an exact date where you complied, so there's no argument, and you'll be out of trouble.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I will sign that order. Thank you very much. Next.
19-0371, 1343 Elm Bank Way, Lee and Amy Liang.
Dina Foley, Code Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. The code section is 622108.4, enclosed, porch was enclosed without a permit. This was observed on 3/11/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 3/12/19 and were posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
You have a signed green card too?
Oh, it probably came over.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So you have double service. You're fine. Okay, let me see. Could you have picked a darker day to take a picture?
Sorry.
It is all rainy that day, yes. All right, you have an affidavit of service and a signed green card. You have service twice. Your name for the record, sir?
Li Liang.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
These are the exhibits that village collected in evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing,
Yeah,
the notice of violation,
yeah,
the signed green card,
yeah,
and there's also an affidavit of posting those documents to your property.
yeah.
Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership,
Uh,
and Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violations. Do you have any objection to these documents?
no.
Thank you, sir.
All right, admitted without without objection. I'm taking it you want a permit pulled for this addition or building event?
Yes, they actually ended up, they went to one of the meetings, but they were supposed to go back to a TSR meeting, and they missed it, and they were supposed to make changes and then go back, and they never showed up.
Yeah, it's still in the process, and I have been fully 100% comply with this situation. And
Well, you're not in compliance because you don't have a permit yet.
no,
so-
the permit actually, when I purchased the house, and the previous owner enclosed the
Yeah.
porch,
I-
and so then the code enforcement department didn't pick it up until this year, and so I already purchased the house 8 years. But even so, I'm fully comply with the process, and so now is in the process for variance application. And on 25th of last month, I did the second submit, and I'm just waiting and see when they have next meeting. And so Kevin said this time everything looks good, and so we made some amendment. And once I got that variance, and I should be able to go forward, apply the permit.
Okay, has he done what he said he's done?
I did not speak with Kevin.
There's TSR tomorrow, but he's
No,
not on that agenda.
TSR, they haven't had the meeting yet, and but they got the application and the second submission of the application, and the first one primarily the survey and has a little bit issue in there, and so they didn't mark the distance from the enclosure porch to the property line, and so takes a while just pushing them and added something in there, and then I submitted the second time, and just wait on the coming TSR meeting. Yeah,
All right, so you have the survey done.
survey has been done. Everything is done.
You are, but you aren't scheduled for a TSR meeting? You've missed a couple, but you're trying to get
No,
on
I
it?
haven't heard them yet, and when they are going to have this meeting. But the paperwork is submitted, yeah, on 25th. And I met Linda and as well as Kevin on that day. And so,
The next TSR is the 24th. There's
That's
a
the one
TSR
they
tomorrow,
asked.
but he's not on that agenda, so.
When did you submit the paperwork to planning?
that on 25th of September. It's almost just 2 weeks ago, I think, yeah.
I don't think he's on there for tomorrow. But that all I don't believe matters right now.
Yeah, it's only on planning, definitely. And I have had an appointment with engineer department, and then Kevin went through with me and for all the paperwork, and then he took it and just asked me to wait for the next TSR meeting.
This is the one that they missed.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's September, or that's a June or
Yeah, it sounds like the issue is he was a week late in submitting for tomorrow's TSR, so he's not on till the next
Next week.
TSR meeting, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then he still has, if he's applying for a variance, he's still got several public hearings. But I think for today's purposes, we need to set a compliance date and see
Well,
how it
let's
progresses.
set a compliance date a couple of months from now, and he should be through most of the process, and then you can
Yeah,
see whether or
going
not
with
you
the
can
11
bump him off.
We're going with the 11/28,
But
so that's a
the
couple months.
engineer department suggested gave us a little bit of grievance, but then you still gave me the ticket and forced me. It looks like the two departments is not working in
Together.
in sync and in together. And
Yeah. All right, well, they're going to give you almost 2 months.
The departments are working together. I spoke with Kevin regarding this, and this is when you missed the TSR meeting. You were supposed to make all these changes, and you never did.
They gave you a list of changes to make and then set a new date for you, and you missed that. So you need to follow up with them if you've submitted. You
Yeah,
need to
because you
call
keep saying you're in
forward.
100% compliance, but you're not.
okay, yeah, and no, I definitely, but probably in between there are some misunderstanding, and I definitely, if it's my mistake, I apologize in here. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you until November 28th to get this all straightened out and hopefully done. And you
Or
can
com-
get a permit. At least we'll know what happened with the TSRs and whether he's gone through with the variance procedures and done all the advertising and all that other stuff. And if he has, fine, we might give you some more time, but if you haven't, then you're just going to be fine on the 29th, or actually on the 12/11 hearing, starting on the 29th. So 11/28, 12/11, 25, granted.
Thank you.
Okay, just keep working on it. Don't miss any more meetings.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next.
Page 5, 19-1093, 10173 Mikado Lane, Jose Luis Valdez.
Code section is 06-19815. The sidewalk is staying. I observed this on 7/15/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 7/15/19 and were posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
So he fixed it?
Yes,
Did he fix it in time? Close enough?
after. That's why it's point out that.
Are you? All right, you have an affidavit of service. You can proceed. Are you Mr. Valdez?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits of which would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of
It's
hearing,
only a compliance date, and he's fixed it already?
notice of hearing, the notice of violation,
Okay, so we're just setting him up
the
for
affidavit
Yeah,
of
I'm just
service,
finding a fact.
documents, because the green card came back undeliverable. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. And exhibit 3, photograph of the violation. And exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No, no.
Thank you.
All right, so he's already cleaned the sidewalk? Is that what I'm hearing from the code office? Or, so he didn't do it on time,
He didn't do it by the time required in the notice of
so
violation.
he will get a finding of fact in
Finding
his
of fact.
in his
Yes, sir.
file instead of just a, we don't care?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna sign something called a finding of fact, which means you were dirty, you cleaned it up, but you didn't do it on time, don't do it again. So just keep on your normal annual sidewalk maintenance. I think I'm on my 3rd pressure cleaner.
Yeah, no, not a problem. I will.
So, all right, finding of fact is granted, there's no fine, there's no problem, just keep it going. I think if you've not found in violation for 5 years, it becomes a regular violation again instead of a repeat. So, just keep it clean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 6, 19-1137, 120 Sparrow Drive, Parkview at Palm Beach Condominium Association, Inc.
Code section 1571, 15141, remove trees without vegetation removal permit, plants dead, dying, or missing. I observed this violation on 7/26/19, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 7/26/19, posted it to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service, verification, Sunbiz info. Exhibit 3 is pictures, and Exhibit 4 is AS400 permit information.
Okay, let's see some stumps. All right, you have an affidavit of service. You can proceed. Sir, what's your name?
My name is Dale Mason from Tallfield Management. We're the management company.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing,
Prop manager.
violation, an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is documentation from the Division of Corporations website regarding condominium association. Exhibit 3 is photographs, violations.
This is a not PCN number case.
ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objections?
Common areas?
No.
Mm-hmm. It's much harder to find them. Okay, so I saw some stumps in there. That's what your removal without a permit thing
Right,
was.
they finally applied for the vegetation removal permit on the 7th, just a
Okay.
couple days ago.
And it takes a couple weeks, as with everything? Yeah, that's fine. It's just part of the process. All right, Mr. Mason, so you've gotten your vegetation removal permit applied for. I guess you just have to get it issued and do whatever they say. Do you ask them to replace things or
They'll let
change?
them know, yeah, and they're
They'll let
gonna
them know.
replace all those other
And
plants.
you
that
may
are
have to
missing.
go look up the ancient site plan or landscape plan for this property. There are all kinds of buildings out there that are required to have all kinds of crappy plants that they allowed you to build in decades past, like black olives and cottonwoods and other things that'll stain your driveways, and you may want to get those changed on the plans if you have those type of things.
We should be able to get a copy of the landscape plan, though.
Yeah, and just kind of try to fulfill it. It's
All right.
part of the fun. Okay, what times are we looking at?
11/28 complied by, 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
All right. So try to get this done by November 28th, and if you get it done, give them a call, and then they'll just file an affidavit of compliance, and you'll be through with me. Great. 11/28, 12/11/25 granted.
Thank you.
Next.
19-1156, 121 Meadowlark Drive, Jeremy J. Pascal.
Code section 06190A1, the roof is in disrepair with the tarp. I observed this violation on 7/30/19, sent out a notice of violation, notice of hearing on 7/31/19, and I received it on 8/5/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. Signed green card equals service. You, sir, are?
Jeremy Pesco.
Okay.
Evidence, exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, the notice of violation, the signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. Do you have any objections to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Everyone always uses blue tarps. They're like so.
I tried to get him to put a brown one on.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, they
come
have
on.
a blue.
There was a guy out here a couple months ago that had a white tarp on his roof
Yeah.
that looked beautiful. I mean, it's like, I wish I had that on mine. It was all perfectly dried in and shrink wrapped. All right, so they're probably going to say you need to fix this. And why are you fixing it, or are you gonna?
Yeah, well, we had a leak. We were waiting for the insurance. We made an insurance claim. I just signed the release for the insurance. So we already got one estimate from a roofing company, which I have. We're going to get 2 more estimates, and when we choose a contractor, then we'll apply for the permitting.
Okay, and if he applies for the permit, will that get him out of trouble?
Once he would obtain it.
Once he obtains the permit, then he's allowed to put a tarp up there for a little bit too? I believe, isn't that right?
Because I don't want to do a homeowner's permit with another contractor who's putting the roof on, because that leaves me liable if something happens to them.
Well,
So I just need.
Yeah, no, you just need to get it.
15, 20 grand, so as soon as we get a contractor to do it,
Yeah.
we'll apply for the permits.
All right, they were whispering. It's usually not bad. It's usually, okay. Because, I sit here and I try to absorb what I can, and normally I think you're allowed, after you get a roofing permit, to put a tarp up for a little while you're getting ready to do it.
Well, we won't tell him to remove it because we don't want his home to
Right.
get damaged on the
Exactly.
inside.
So,
Right.
And we had it professionally installed by a restoration company, so.
okay, so are we 1211,
No, that was our request, but we're gonna move that.
bump it a little
an
more,
additional-
one something, one
Yeah,
one?
so it's be compliance by 1/3, or the 1/8/2020 hearing, or $25 a day fine.
And that'll be a status slash fine.
Yeah, we'll craft it as status/fine.
Okay. All right. Be like Mr. Reed. Talk to them a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? Hopefully you get your roof fixed.
Great, thank you.
Great, you get an order in the mail. 131825, 1820. We're already into another decade.
Thank you, sir.
Horrible.
Thank
All
you.
right, next.
Next, page 7 at the top, 19-1195, 226 Sandpiper Avenue, Richard and Joanne Dansereau.
Code section 622-108.4, installed pavers without a permit. I observed this violation on 8/6/19, the now notice of violation notice of hearing on 8/6/19, and I received it on 8/14/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
All right, you have a signed green card, you can proceed.
Richard Dansereau.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, the notice of violation, as well as the green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership from the property appraiser website. And Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation.
Yeah.
And Exhibit 4 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Do you have any objection to these documents?
Mm.
Do you have any objection to the documents themselves?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so one of the new words out there is impervious surface.
2 days after she came and told us that, this and that, because me and my wife, we just came back from vacation. I just retired not even 3 weeks ago. And I paid $1,500 for those pavers. Well, you got me by surprise because I never knew that I need a permit to put decorative pavers. It's around a slab.
Right. Now, one of the big buzzwords nowadays is impervious surface. And they're impervious, that means that the water can't go through. It's usually your house pad, your driveways, your sidewalks, things of that nature. That's an impervious surface. And when you put pavers, you add to that total. And there's only a certain amount, let me finish because I'll let you do yours. And there's a certain amount of impervious surface coverage allowed by the village, which is?
Depends.
It depends on the use, the neighborhood, the size of the lot. But there is some sort of amount that you're allowed to put pavers and additional slabs if you wanted to put an RV or a boat or something like that. But it's going to end up costing you a survey probably to determine the size of your lot and the size of the impervious surfaces. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's correct. I'm not sure. They may have one up to date because they've recently done other work.
Okay, so if they have a recent survey.
The right one, they may have to get it updated. I don't know.
Okay, and then they would have to, even if they had a recent survey, you would have to update it to show the amount of additional pavers?
Correct.
Well, sir, I got all the papers to fill out how much grass I have, and I have
That's what they're doing. They're trying to make sure you got the right.
I got that ready, except I need time. I just retired, and
you're going to get we're going to give you till December. You got 2 months to go work on this and get it all straightened out.
Yeah.
And you're going to find out what they require for this. I mean, the easiest thing is to get a surveyor to put all the impervious surfaces and do a calculation table on the side and tell you exactly what your percentage of coverage is. But I don't know what else they'll let you get away with because I don't do this stuff a lot. All right, so 12/9, 12/11.
Yes, or $25 a day fine.
Okay. All right, so You need to get this straightened out by December 9th, which is 2 months from now. That gives you enough time to submit your paperwork.
Okay.
See if you need surveys or
Because
things.
the survey was a surprise to me. In the last 3 years, in the last 4 years, I pulled about 3-4 permits in here.
Right, well, it depends on what the permit's for. You know, if you're doing an air conditioning permit, they don't care about your survey. If you're doing a fence permit, they may or may not, they will care about your survey. If you're trying to put if you're trying to put a slab out there to put a shed on, you have to worry about setbacks, they're worried about the survey.
Yeah, but this is all done.
So hopefully you have enough time to get whatever requirements they need to show that you're not violating the impervious surface rules. Okay,
All
sir?
right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
You get an order in the mail. Next, please.
19-1253-1132 Harmony Way, Naran, Bacchus.
Code Section 622-108.4, pavers without a permit. I observed this violation on 8/19/19.
the
Sent
guy
out notice
knows.
of violation, notice of hearing on 8/19/19. And I
Like-
spoke with the homeowner on 8/21/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4 is for under permit information.
Okay. All right, you have affidavit of posting, so you have service, and you can show them these documents. So who's number 3? Is that Dale Earnhardt or Dwayne Wade? Because one I like more than the
These
other.
are the exhibits that would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing, the notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership from property vendor. Exhibit 3, photograph of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Any objection to these documents?
Nope.
Thank you.
You've heard the speech. You know, you need to go get yourself over to the building department and pull some stuff so you can figure out what you need to get yourself in compliance so you don't have to tear it out. I don't have to repeat it all, right?
Well, I did pull a survey,
Okay, well, that's,
and the survey, they told me it should be ready in 2 days.
good. No, I'm gonna give you, because you're here, you're standing, you're getting ready to fix this, you're gonna get till your December dates.
Yeah, we had to comply by 11/28, so we'll.
So I'm giving you 2 months. If you're getting a survey, you can just quietly walk through the process. If the surveyor's out there, they will do what I said. They will do the table on the side with the impervious surface, and there won't be a question. It'll be X coverage, you know, whether it's 29% or 59, and I don't even know what the numbers are, and as long as you comply. So is that an Earnhardt or is that a Wade? You're number 3. Do you know?
I'm sorry?
You're wearing a number 3. Are you
Oh, yeah,
a NASCAR or are you an NBA?
NBA.
Good. You're the man. I'll give you more time. I mean, I'll go on his retirement tour again. Love that man. All right, 12/9, 12/11,
$25.
25.
Thank you.
Yeah, wear heat shirts. You get more.
Thank you.
Now we're moving to the bottom of page 8, fine mitigation hearings. 17-1286, 107 Segovia Avenue, Rudy James Trust.
16.
I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, request for fine mitigation, Exhibit 2, order assessing fine, Exhibit 3, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. This is part of our program where it kind of switches over, so you get to tell us who you are.
Juniela Espinal, representing CH76 Investment.
Way too fast, and you're going to end up spelling that last name, so.
Espinal.
What was your first name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that either.
Janil, Yanil.
Yeah, no one would have guessed that.
And you're,
You're,
Representing CH76. We bought the property from the courthouse.
okay, so you're owner rep or something.
Yes.
new owner.
Buy a property with a code enforcement lien. Always fun. All right, so what is the amount of the fine?
16,600.
You don't check these things before you buy them. You just like go, this one looks good.
No, we checked the violation. We didn't know about what was the violations for, but the village was really notified by the courthouse, by the attorney.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have a $16,600 fine. Why do you think it should be reduced? And how much do you think it should be reduced to?
To my knowledge, the village should have claimed the surplus, on the money from the surplus from this property, and they told me that they're not do a release and cancellation. We cannot do title insurance on the property until we have that done. So what we requesting that any fees that incur into filing a release and cancellation of the lien, we will pay for it.
All right, what's the village's position?
The village will agree to mitigate the fine amount, but I'm not sure I heard mitigating circumstances there, so could she elaborate on that? I bought the property knowing there was a lien on it. I'll give you our number, but
okay, what's our number?
I'm not sure I heard a mitigating circumstance, but we'll agree to release it to $3,732.34, payable within 90 days.
3732 what?
3732.34, and 90 days is 1920.
They're saying you need to beg more, but I'm not going to bother with that. All right, so you bought a property with an obvious lien on it, and $3,732.34 is acceptable to the village if paid by January 9th, 2020?
Yes.
I'll reduce it from 16.6 to 3732.34.
Okay.
You want to write that down, or are you good?
Do I have any, they sending something in the mail?
Yo, someone will get something in the mail. I just don't know if it's you. It's the, right now we have the Rudy James Trust here.
Yeah, they're the owner. They're the owner of record.
What's on the tax roll?
Yeah.
So we can email it to you.
Okay.
So leave a card here before you leave.
Yes.
And if you don't have a card, write down the number and just come by with a check in a few days, and after I've signed the orders, either or. It's up to you. Give my card. It's easier.
I'll give a card.
Great. All right. That was one done.
Yes, sir. And moving to top of page 9, 14-0273-1062 Rhapsody Way, Brandon and Erica Grimshaw.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation. Exhibit 2, previous order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And how much is this?
The fine amount is $49,175.
All right. You are?
Erica Grimshaw.
And Brandon Grimshaw.
Okay. And how did you, well, you want the fine reduced. Why?
Well, just to start off this evening, we do want to apologize for not complying in a timely manner and just given a chance to kind of hear us out and hear our story. So we purchased the home from the courthouse. It was a home that was in foreclosure, and the structure that we were not in compliance with was already on the home when we purchased it. There was not a lien on the home at the time of us purchasing it, but the structure was already on the home when we purchased it. And we raised our girls there, and this particular structure was their playroom off the back of the house. And so when one of the tropical storms came through, there was a good bit of water that came into that room. And we came to find that there was mold in the walls. And so at that point in time, my husband and I were very much so struggling financially ourselves. We borrowed some money from my parents along with a small inheritance from my grandfather passing away to buy the home. And we knew it wasn't safe for our girls to continue to play in that room. And so we wanted to, be able to replace the drywall to get the mold out of there.
Yeah. So we hired a company called Schaefer Doors and Windows, and they were a contractor. I'm not sure if they're still in business. And so we hired them to repair, basically almost rebuild the back of that room, basically over the same exact structure. And we ended up spending right around $20,000 with them, thinking that they were pulling permits on the property, only to find out when we were finishing that it was basically not pulled. And we ended up with one of the code officers cited us for basically doing the construction without a permit. And so then we were already kind of $20,000 in. We didn't have a lot of money in the first place. And so when that happened, we kind of just put we didn't know what to do, because it was the original structure was built below grade, right? So it wasn't to code. That's why it was leaking in the first place. And so when we rebuilt it with some water retention areas so that the water didn't come in the room or whatever, but it still wasn't built, I guess, correctly. And so anyways, so we apologize for not bringing it into compliance sooner, but we were able to put the funds together, and we ended up just recently, we've got this, if you want, we can give this to you. This is our contractor that we spent $15,000 and change with Race Construction a month and a half ago to rip the back half of the house off. And it's in compliance at this point, I believe. And so we pulled permits to rip the back part of the property off, and so now it's a slab. So anyways,
okay.
So that's long and short of it.
Okay. And what's the village's position here?
We're amenable to reduction. I didn't hear a number from them.
We would love it. We would love it if you guys could reduce to filing fees and court costs, because we've spent $35,000 so far on this property, this structure that we don't have anymore.
Yeah, I think they bought it that way too, right?
Right. Unfortunately, the solution that they ended up with could have been done at the beginning, and it was out of compliance for 5 years.
Understood and understood.
So our reduction, I'll give you that amount, and obviously it's your discretion, but our number would be $10,227.17, payable by 1/9, which is 90 days.
Now, what is your realistic number here? Because there's a huge gulf between, 49 and...
We've already spent $35,400 on a structure that isn't on the property anymore, and so
understood. And you tried to do it, and you didn't follow through with the contractors who should have been permitted, and it would have cut the things in half. And some of it's self-inflicted, some of it's so. You're not going to get a zero. You're not going to get $500 out of it. What is a good realistic number? Because they're going to want their 10 grand.
Can we pay $1,000? I mean,
and then it's like, why even bother code enforcing people if it's a 50,000 that goes down to, $1,000 without some sort of compelling equitable issues here? And I see some issues that are equitable, but there's also other self-inflicted things. I'm trying. They'll get mad at me. And it's like, if they're going to get mad at me, it's going to be for a reason that I can live with. That they're going to pay something reasonable to them.
You mean code enforcement or to
code enforcement? Yes.
We wanted to comply with it. Once we had already spent the funds to repair the back of the unit, we didn't have the funds to be able to comply. That's the thing.
I understand. That was the self-inflicted part. You never checked to see if these guys pulled permits.
Yeah.
And if the dudes would have pulled permits, you wouldn't have had 90% of this fine.
The issues.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. And unfortunately, people don't know to do that, but I would be looking at, oh my God, you're building a room, where's the permit?
Yeah.
You know, and there's supposed to be, if you do any law stuff, you look it around and there's, people have plastic things that they put their permits in that the inspectors can look at so they don't get rained on.
Yeah.
So $1,000 is probably not gonna be, so what's realistic, people? I mean, I cannot sit here and go, because if I reduce it to 10 grand, it's never gonna get reduced again below the 10 grand, and you're not gonna be able to make the payment, and it's never gonna go below the 49.
Is it, did $2,000, would that be acceptable in the city?
See, they're not gonna go to, they're not gonna tell me. They're looking at me going, well, it's in your discretion, it means you can piss us off a bit, but. I understand it, but, back to the self-inflicted part, you could have made this $49,000 fine a $25,000 fine if you would have checked with your contractor. Or you could have just said, oh my God, it's a problem that's never permitted. You could have spent the 15 and be done, and you would have had no fines and just ripped it out. So, you're telling them that they get to pay for your ignorance, which is not fair for them. And, people have to deal with these things. So,
yeah,
Sure. And I understand what you're saying, and I guess for me there's a sentimental attachment to, this was, where I raised my little girls, and this was their playroom, and this is where we spent a lot of family time together. So trying to, as a mommy, seeing that mold, it's like, oh, it just kind of flusters you, and you're like, okay, I got to get this. We have to get this taken care of. I can't have my kids in here.
By the time we realized there was no permits, there was already the code enforcement lien.
Oh, here's your two options. I am inclined to reduce this to $5,000, which is a 90%, which is as much as I've ever done on anything else. But I'm not going to go past that. But if I do that and you don't pay it, the lien's going to go up and you're not going to be able to apply for another reduction. So I need to know if that's realistic, because otherwise my suggestion to you would be withdraw your request and reapply it some other time when you have more funds, because I'm not going to waive it down to 2.
So there's nothing else besides, so 5 is that's the
final number.
Okay.
It sounds like a game show almost.
Is that the?
Is that your final number? Okay.
Yeah.
Deal or no deal? That's it. Okay.
Yeah, let's take it. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll accept it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, 5,000 by
1920.
Write that down.
What is it? 19 or
19 January 9th of 2020.
Year's gone by fast.
Life goes by fast.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you.
Next.
17-1661, 216 Park Road North, Martin Guy, Melville.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation. Exhibit 2, agent authorization form. Exhibit 3, order assessing fine. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance. Exhibit 5, verification ownership.
A year and a half. Not that wholly long. All right. Sir?
Good evening, Your Honor. My name is Joe Mullen. I'm an attorney representing.
Spell your last name, sir?
I'm sorry?
Spell your last name.
Mullen. First name's Joe.
All right.
And I'm representing the current homeowners, John and Nanette Kennedy. And by way of disclosure, I also represent the former owner of the property, but I represent that former owner through an estate. And that's primarily the reason why I'm here today, to talk about what happened here.
Okay.
I have a couple of exhibits that would help explain a little bit the scenario.
Just
But
show
a
them
gentleman,
counsel
a
and I'll be
gentleman.
happy to look at them.
Yeah, this is.
Okay.
Just 4 of them.
I thought it was going to be short today. 9 pages.
Moving right along.
All right, tell your story now. We have some documents to look at, too.
Okay. Mr. Martin Melville purchased this property in June of 2017. And within not more than 2 months thereafter, he died. He was a a lonely man. He was divorced, didn't have any children. His two closest heirs were his brothers up in Canada. So the bottom line, nothing really happened with respect to establishing the estate or filing a probate here. The hearing was held, the notices were sent out, but in fact the man had died in August of 2017. This past May, we were able to, in fact, establish and open a probate. And his brother, David Melville, was appointed the PR of the estate. More recently, this September, we were able to sell the property to John and Annette Kennedy. And that closing actually took place on the 24th of September. And as we had discussed prior to closing, and to their credit, the new owners actually corrected the conditions, I think within about 4 days following the closing, which ultimately led to the affidavit of compliance being issued. So we would suggest respectfully that there are, significant mitigating reasons why hopefully the fine could be reduced.
All right, so it's hard to comply with when you're dead, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, boiling it down to it. She's smiling. I'm a people person, come on. All right, so what do you have a suggestion as, what is the amount of the fine anyway?
The amount of the fine is $15,000 and, $15,050.
15050, okay. And do you have a suggestion as to the amount of the reduction that you are requesting?
And I didn't hear the last number from the...
15,050.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I had sort of calculated. My client's suggestion would be a reduction to $2,500.
All right, what's the village's position?
And our position is not far from that, but it's $3,451.04.
And we would accept that if the special magistrate is there.
3451 point what?
04.
04. 3,451.04 by 1/9/20.
Excellent.
Good luck, sir.
And thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
Much appreciated.
Okay.
Now we're moving back to.
All right.
Yes.
Everyone raise your right hand, say I do when we're done. Everybody. That's your left hand, ma'am. No, the lady in the yellow. Your right hand. And the lady in the back, too, if you're going to say. Okay. All right. Does everyone swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say I do. They all do. All right. Next, please.
Thank you. We're
What
moving
page?
Page 2. This is a fine assessment hearing. It's case number 19-0757777, Camellia Drive, Claudette Joseph.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. You have a signed green card. Okay. You have service, you can proceed.
Mark Howell, that's Claudette Howell Josephs.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation with the signed green card. Out of order. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. Exhibit 3, photograph of the violation. Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark, is that a Mark with the C or a Mark with the K?
M-A-R-K.
And your last name is spelled?
H-O-W-E-L-L.
All right, and what is your relations to the property here?
That's my wife.
And your wife is Claudette?
I guess I'm part owner.
You're the husband owner, okay. All right, so
This, as you saw, there's an affidavit of compliance. This was out of compliance for 6 days, so we're asking for a $150 fine and not continuing.
Okay, they said you did it 6 days late.
Yes.
Okay.
Reason being, after, if you remember the last time we just did the roof, so you're looking at the painting crew. And, you know, so I only have weekends and a couple hours at night, so we were a little late.
Okay,
Yes.
you said 150?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we make it 100 and just go away? 100, no continuing.
Okay, sounds good.
See if they'll do that in West Palm, huh? You'll get an order in the mail.
That'll come in the mail?
That'll come in the mail. You're all good.
Moving now to page 5. This is a violation hearing, 19-1174, 1145 Chorus Way. Mayra Concepcion and Jorge de Mejas.
Code Section 2318B3B, parking on the front lawn. I observed this on 8/1/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 8/1/19 and were signed for on 8/5/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
All right, she's throwing away your green card, but we do have a signed green card. Come on, Lou, stretch. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is probably going to be very easy, so go right ahead. You have a signed green card, you can proceed. Let me guess, after we get through the finding or the showing of the documents, we're finding of a fact?
Yes.
Kind of thought so. It's all good.
Mayra Concepcion.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, notice of violation, the green card that was signed. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance, showing that you're now in compliance.
Sorry, let me
Okay.
You know that it was temporary, but
You're in compliance, so yeah, you're okay now. Any objection to these documents?
no,
Okay, thank
everything fine.
Okay. I'm going to sign something called the finding of fact, which says you did it, but you fixed it, so don't do it again.
Okay. I just told her that it was just for a couple of hours that my husband, he parked the car in the front lawn, but it was just for, I think it was for wash the car or something like that. Fix something.
Yeah, it's okay, but you got to wash the car in the driveway or off over on the other side of the sidewalk. So, finding of fact is granted.
Remember, let me explain to you, don't park on the other side of the driveway, okay? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's the front, okay?
Yes, we fix, he bought some grass and he planted some grass, and we already don't have the problem.
Okay.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Couple more to go for the live portion of our program.
Now we are on page 8, case 19-1307, 600 Business Parkway, AP 2012, Royal Manor LLC.
21. That's a lot of people here for a 9-page agenda. I looked at the parking lot and went, oh, and then I looked at the agenda and went, really? All right, next.
Code section is 06190A1, 2349A14, and B17, 15132. Building in disrepair, parking stripes are faded, landscape debris, high grass and weeds along the fence line. I observed this violation on 8/29/19, so now notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/29/19, and I have it signed for on 8/31/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have a signed green card, you have service.
I'm not sure.
Ma'am, your name, please?
Grace, Grace, last name Achille, Achille.
And your relation to the property?
I'm the nursing home administrator. I work there.
Okay.
Nursing home administrator.
Thank you. These are the exhibits the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing. Application. Signed green card. Exhibit 2 is proof of ownership. Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is the village's ISO 400 permit information. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I saw the parking stripes for faded part is easily determined. What was the building and disrepair part?
It's that overhang where the tarp is. They have pulled the permit for that to be repaired.
Okay, so if they pull the permit for that and it's issued, then they're in compliance, sort of?
No, they still need to get the permit for the parking lot. You see right here, there's a tarp.
Oh, okay.
Somebody ran into it.
Oh,
They have removed the landscape debris.
okay. So they're moving along, but they need some more. Okay. All right, so you see that you had a little accident there, I guess, on your...
Yes, somebody's vending machine went under the overpass.
I bet it's not a good vending machine anymore, so... Well, hopefully that's a good insurance claim for you, but then we have the rest of the problems. You've got the landscape debris.
That's actually a finding of fact, Special Magistrate, so
On
that's...
the landscape debris?
Yes, that's 15-132. And on the
Okay.
remaining code sections, we would be asking for compliance while you're writing by 11/28 or 12/1 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
All right, so they need you to have it fixed by the end of November. Is that good?
End of November, for the overpass, we will be able to, because we have already hired Visionary Creation, who is pulling the permit to repair it. They said they will be coming here on Monday morning. They did come before, but they needed something sealed by their engineer and
Correct. Okay.
architect company, so they are working on it.
All right, so that's the building repair portion. Is the
Overpass.
parking stripes, are they scheduled?
The parking stripes, it is my understanding that I also need a permit.
Okay.
And I have to have an engineer to have proof of the original parking lot and seal it. But I'm getting quotes. I already get one quote. I need 2 more quotes before the company makes a final decision as to who we're going to hire to do the restriping. I believe that's going to take over 2 months, because it took me forever to get 1 quote so far, and I have to get 2 more quotes. The company is not going to do anything until they have 3 quotes. So I will respectfully ask at least beginning of 2020 for the restriping. It's fading, but you still can read them. It's not like they are not able to read them.
Okay. She said respectfully. What can I do? All right, so what's the 1/1s? What the 1 dates?
It would be 1/3 or the 1/8 hearing, fine assessment hearing.
I keep writing 1/8/20 just to remind myself. Or $25?
Yes, sir.
Because I've got most of this done. All right, January 3rd is your fix-it date, so hopefully that gives you enough time. Gives you almost 3 months.
I believe so, because I already get 1 quote.
Oh, no, you've already done 1 thing. You're going to have 1 other thing done.
Yes.
Just keep in contact with code enforcement. As long as you keep them apprised,
Yes.
they treat you nicer.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Next is 19-1247, 11318 Okeechobee Boulevard, Royal Palm Finance, Inc.
Don't buy a lottery ticket tonight.
I believe he needs to be sworn in.
We did. He was part of group 2.
No, he was out, he was out in
You
the
swear to tell
lobby.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for the second time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, we've sworn him in. Your name, sir, is?
Bill Sani, I'm representing Rod.
Bill, last name spell?
S-A-H-N-I.
All right, and your position with Royal Palm Finance, Inc. is?
I'm the manager, sir.
Manager's fine. All right. Okay, we've got him established. You're going to show him some stuff.
Yep, when you get it on
Okay.
record.
The code sections 15141, 622, 108.4, 2349, A, 14B, 17, 6195, parens C, 1, 2, D, and 942. The description, landscaping is dead, dying, or missing and not maintained. Lights are installed without a permit. Parking lot is in disrepair with weeds growing through it, potholes, and striping faded. The building, sidewalk, and fence is stained, and the fence is in disrepair with some rotting wood. This violation was observed on 8/16/2019. It was sent certified mail on 8/20/2019, and I have USPS showing that it was delivered on 8/24/2019. I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures. And I think I actually attached the landscape plan in there too.
You may, I've got to go through the 45 pictures. The toner needs of your department are probably massive. Okay. So all I had to do was see a blue tile roof, and I went, I know where that is. Okay. And you have portions of the site data plan and what looks to be a landscaping plan as well. All right. You have a USPS tracking confirmed, you have service, and you can proceed.
I'll put the landscape plans in as Exhibit 4.
Okay.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing and the notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is photographs of the violations. Stop me at any point. Exhibit 4 is the landscape plan for the property. Do you have any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay, admitted without objection. That's probably one of the older commercial sections of Royal Palm Beach, I would assume. It's been there forever. As long as I've been here, it kind of looked a little oldish then. So, all right, what are you going to do, or do you recognize there are issues that they're showing you?
Mr. Duty, I'm just the manager. We are owners of the property. We have a triple net tenant who's been there for about 15 years, and the person who is on the lease is Mr. Sheikh. He had a family emergency. He had to fly to Canada. He sent his brother here. Now, I was at the property on 2 days back, Monday, to make sure that they were taking this seriously. And when I was there, I took some pictures, and Ms. Walker would confirm that there is, he was painting the place, he did some landscaping, he cleaned out a bunch of stuff, and because of this family emergency, he was requesting a extension of time to finish the work. But the work has been started. Now, I did speak with Ms. Walker, and Linda said that, there's certain issues with the work, for example, the quality of the shrubbery, or not quality, the trees that they're planting are not the right trees. I think I might have missed, if I'm wrong, I could be corrected there. But there is stuff being done as we speak. It's not that they're completely disregarding it, and it would have been done if Mr. Sheikh would not have had a family emergency that he had to fly to Canada to. I respectfully ask Your Honor to give Mr. Sheikh a 90-day extension, and that this should all be complied and completed by then, sir.
What does the village say?
We're asking for compliance by 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $50 a day fine.
So that's definitely not 90 days.
If we do 12/9, it's 60.
12/9 is 60.
Mr. Duty, if I can indulge you, that getting a permit and, fixing things and inspections and, getting this all done, I think 90 days is a reasonable period, but whatever Your Honor decides.
I'm going to lean more to the 60-day period to keep your feet under the fire. That way, at least you can
I would not be opposed to a status/fine assessment hearing.
Okay.
But I gave a courtesy notice on this about 90 days prior to me writing the violation.
And I believe me, Ms. Walker, nobody is saying that you didn't do it right. The problem is my hands are tied and I have a triple net tenant behind me. It's not I can do it for him and bill him because it's his job to do it. I've tried that in the past, and I appreciate whatever the city does. And
Well, I understand that as well, but my point would be is that I tried to go the route of giving him time to do it. And until we had a violation in writing and a notice of hearing, I didn't see any results.
You've always been fair to Noor, and
So-
he tries to do as little as possible. I
And-
mean, that's usually the tenants, and
Okay.
landlords get stuck with it. But I know he knows you've been business now.
And I just also want to make you aware, because it sounded to me when we talked on the phone this afternoon, like you thought the painting was done. The back part of the building is not painted.
As a matter of fact, ma'am, when I was there on Monday, it was raining then, it was raining Tuesday, and that's what's holding up stuff.
Okay, I understand. I didn't want you, the way that you talked to me, I thought that you thought that it was done, and I wanted you to be aware that the painting is not done.
My apologies if I created that misimpression. My submission was that the work has started, but the rain has been playing, a little bit of a schedule issue.
That's fine.
It rained on me Tuesday during my last 4 holes of golf.
But what I meant was that there's a good faith effort on the part of the tenant.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go bounce you to the 12/9/12/11 date for a status/fine assessment hearing. And then you will get additional time if you are in the process and you are doing enough to justify it.
I will be on top of the tenant, Mr.
And this is what, 12/9/12/11, 100?
50.
50?
$50 a day fine, thank you, sir.
You're kind. All right, 12/9/12/11, 50 for a status/fine assessment. That means I won't put a fine in unless you've done very little, in which case I'll be happy to. So
Which means that it's best to get it done
if
before
you
that.
get more done, you just get, if you get more done, that means I'm just more inclined to give you more time if we're waiting for 1 or 2 final items to be finalized.
That's
Especially if you've gotten contracts signed and you're in a queue and you've got to wait for a contractor, that kind of thing. Okay? Everyone
Frank.
understand? We've got a lot of Canada stuff going on here today.
Well, I'm from here, so that's
Okay.
just from
It's
Canada.
all good. As long as it gets fixed, no one cares who
Yes,
they're
sir.
from.
Thank you kindly,
All
Your
right.
Honor. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Ms. Walker, for your
Okay,
service
great. Thank you very much.
and everything else. Thank you again.
So who's your city attorney these days? Oh, God, I remember when Kim was a secretary there.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was there, I was there when she went to law school.
Wow.
So tell Kimmy I said hi.
She's from City West. I mean, did you work as a reservant?
I was part of a firm that condemned City Place and all those other things for the city of West Palm Beach. And then I used to do a lot of expert witness testimony for your attorney's fees. So just tell Kim I said hi. And we're going to probably move on because they want to get
A lot more.
done.
And I will call Erica tomorrow.
Right.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving back to page 1 of the agenda, status/fine assessment hearings again, 19-0318, 2493 Westmont Lane, Cindy R. and Michael A. Fioli.
I'd like to enter into evidence Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right. Affidavit of service equals service, and 10-4, the positions or the condition still exists?
Yes,
According to
they're,
the photographs?
yes,
So-
sir. They're still going through the planning and zoning
Right.
and variance process, so we're asking for a continuance, which would require compliance by 11/7 or appearance at the 11/13 status/fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
I like it because you're picking a date that's different than all the others, so I'll have to pay attention. Next, page 2.
Fine assessment hearings, 19-1181, 242 Bilbao Street, Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, Inc.
Okay.
I'd like
we
to
have
enter
a-
into evidence Exhibit 1, the previous order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
That's a big toothpick. All right, you have a signed green card. You have service. What would you like?
This has been out of compliance for 13 days, so a fine of $325
$325 plus
and
continuing is granted.
19-0893, 10173 Pinafore Lane, Ingenio Adebrito and Marioli Garces.
Quieter. Okay, thank you. He's got a loud voice. Yeah, good baritone. Okay, next.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Did she not move her stumps?
No.
This was.
She removed most of them, but they're, in the picture, it's hard to see. Up in the planning area, there are 3 stumps left.
They think they're done. All right, what would you like? 325 plus continuing is
325
granted.
and continuing. 19-0898-10230 Rhythm Circle, Michael C. Hudson.
We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, so you have service via posting, and the driveway is dirty, although the reflection almost makes some of it look clean. All right, so
Again,
325
13
plus
days, 325 and
continuing is
continuing.
granted.
Thank you.
19-0940-10303 Pippin Lane, Ibrahim Zaru Trust.
I'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Signed green card equals service. And what am I looking for here? Okay, grass and weeds.
The grass and weeds is actually complied, so
That looks cut.
your
It
order will
doesn't
say
look
continue to
great, but-
comply.
Got
The
it.
remaining code section is still out, so we're asking for, it's been out for 13
Sidewalk
days. but
stained,
yes, sir, at $50 a day, so $650 fine and continuing.
650 plus continuing is granted, and is that going to be a finding of fact on the weeds, or just a
It'll say continue to comply, yes, sir.
Continue to apply, okay, continue to comply is granted.
Thank you.
19-0941-10318 Pippin Lane, Brian and Lisa San Lucas.
I'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of service, you have a dirty sidewalk, and you have a less dirty driveway. I don't know why one's dirtier than the other, but hey, it's life. 325 plus continuing
Yes,
is
sir.
granted.
Thank you.
19-0906-138 Meadowlark Drive, Florence F. Schnitzer Estate.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order assessing fine. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just restate.
Pardon me, yes. Previous order finding violation.
Okay.
Affidavit
And
of service.
We've already done, okay. You have an affidavit of service, you have service. The Bear area is a wonderfully quaint thing. It's like there's no stuff in the yard.
This
All
has
right.
been out for 13 days, but at $50 a day, so we're asking for a fine of $650 and continuing.
650 plus continuing, that would have bought 3 pallets of sod.
19-0982-102 Sycamore Drive, Frank and Catherine Furia.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS4 under permit information.
They stick their heads in the sand, it'll go away. All right, 325 plus continuing?
Yes, sir.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1132 180 Kensington Way, Statewide Homeowner Solutions LLC.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Signed green card equals service, and can you see a quarter at the bottom?
No, can't see nothing at the bottom.
Well, that means that you proved your
See
case.
the bottom.
325 plus
No, this
continue.
one's, it's been out for 13 days, but at $50, so $650.
Oh, 650 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you.
Back to violation hearings, 19-1145 on page 4, 286 Ponce de Leon Street, Lois M. or Luis M. and Anna E. Torres.
Code section is 6190A, drive and sidewalk are stained. I observed this violation on 7/29/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, picture, and Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact is granted, and I
Thank
changed
you.
the oil in my pressure washer, so maybe it'll last another year.
19-1266 219 Bilbao Street, Cerberus SFR Holdings LP.
Code sections are 14.4A and 1557, disabled unregistered vehicle, and high grass and weeds. I observed this violation on 8/21/19, mailed a notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed. I'd like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures, and Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, you have a track and confirm, so you have service finding of fact?
Yes, sir.
Granted.
19-1277, 146 Valencia Street, Sybil Moyes.
Code section is 2318B2, parking on the front lawn. I observed this violation on 8/22/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and posted it on the property. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact is granted.
Thank you.
She's on a roll. Finding.
Yes.
19-1349, 306 La Mancha Avenue, Progress Residential Borrower 5 LLC.
Code section is 2318B1, tow truck is a prohibited vehicle. I observed this violation on 9/9/19, mailed the notice of violation, notice of hearing certified, and got the green card back signed. I'd like to enter into evidence, Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, picture.
Looks like that one's from the 80s. That's an old tow truck.
It's got an antique tag on it.
Oh, it's got an antique tow truck tag on it. Oh, okay, people collect anything.
We're asking for compliance by 1031 or the 1113 fine assessment hearing or $50 a day fine.
Granted, 1031, 1113, 50.
19-10101095 Chorus Way, George Butler.
Code section is 06-190A1, 3 and 5, driveway and sidewalk are stained. I observed this on 6/24/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 6/25/19 and were posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of service, and it's dirty.
We're asking for compliance by 1128 or the 1211 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
1128, 12, 1125 granted.
19-1025, 103 Brookwood Court, Henry L. Cano and Heidi L. Castaneda.
Code section 2657, 622108.4, work done without a permit, gazebo slash structure. I observed this on 6/27/19. The notice of violation and notice of hearing were mailed out 6/28/19 and were posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, affidavit of service equals service.
We're asking again for compliance by 1128 or the 1211 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1177, 150 Preserve Drive, Claudette Forbes Williams Estate.
Code section 144A, disabled vehicle with an expired tag. I observed this on 8/1/19. The notice of violation and notice of hearing were mailed out 8/1/19 and were posted. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. You have a service via posting. What would you like?
Compliance by 1031 or the 1113 fine hearing or $50 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1294, 1314 Ryan Lane, Camilo A. Boreas Calderon, and Viviana A. Jimenez Rojas.
Code section 9806-190A1, 3 and 5. The hedges are over 4 feet. Driveway and sidewalk are stained. I observed this on 8/28/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 8/28/19 and were signed for on 8/30/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, signed green card equals service.
Code sections 9-8, which is hedges over 4 feet, is a finding of fact.
Okay.
The remaining code section, we're asking for compliance by 1128 or the 1211 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
19-1296, 1357 Ryan Lane, Kelly R. Lewis.
Code section 6/135-06-190A1, 3 and 5. House numbers are not posted on the structure. Driveway and sidewalk are stained. I observed this on 8/28/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 8/28/19 and were signed for on 8/30/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Well, how hard is it to buy house numbers? You have a signed green card, you have service. Finding of fact is
Finding of
granted.
fact. Thank you.
Thank you.
19-1300, 1300 Chorus Way, Italo Cororino.
Code Section 06-190A1, 3, and 5, driveway and sidewalk are stained. I observed this on 8/28/19. Notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out on 8/29/19 and were signed for on 8/31/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
I just love the signature here. Someone has bold thoughts. All right, finding of fact is granted.
Thank you. 19-13031018, Penzance Lane, Carlos Ramirez.
Code Section 06-190A1, 3, and 5, driveway and sidewalk are stained. I observed this 8/28/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out 8/29/19 and were signed for on 8/31/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, signed green card equals service. That's weird. Okay.
Code Section 06193, Subpart 3 is the driveway stain. That's a finding of fact. The remaining sections, which are the sidewalk stained, we're asking for compliance by 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
Weird that they do one and not the other.
19-1345, 521 North State Road 7, Royal Center LLC.
Code Section 2041, banner is prohibited. I observed this on 9/7/19. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out on 9/19 and signed for on 9/11/19. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay. Well,
Banner without a permit.
yes, we have helium. You have a signed green card. What do you want?
Compliance by 10/21 or the 11/13 fine hearing or $50 a day fine.
10/21 or 10/31?
10/21.
10/21, 11/13, 25?
50.
Oh, 50. I'm trying to make sure it's all right. All my others were 10/31s, and I thought she might have made a mistake there, and I was concentrating, but no.
19-1161, 360 Sandpiper Avenue, Harold Charles.
Car.
Code Sections 14:4, disabled vehicle. I observed this violation on 7/31/19. Not on notice of violation, notice of hearing on 7/31/19. And I received it on 8/5/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Signed green card. What kind of car?
It's like one of those little, what are you?
Fiat-ish things?
Yeah.
It's just weird. Okay.
We're asking for compliance by 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1185, 700 103rd Avenue, Thompson Logistics Assets LLC.
Code Sections 14:4, disabled abandoned vehicle. Observe this violation on 8/2/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/2/19. I received it on 8/7/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
It's an 89 through 93 Mustang GT. I could use some of the parts off of it. You have service via signed green card. What would you like?
Okay. Compliance by 10/31 or the 11/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank
Someone's toys.
19-1189, 205 Dove Circle, Liz Malin and Sergio Morales and Noelio Alvarez.
Code Sections 2318B, open trailer not screened from view and parked on the front lawn. I observed this violation on 8/5/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/5/19, and posted it to the property. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of service, so you have service. What would you like?
Compliance by 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1215, 181 Sunflower Circle, Alberto and Lydia M. Angulo.
Code Section 06190A1, the structure is stained. I observed this violation on 8/8/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/8/19. They signed for it on 8/20/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have a signed green card, you have service.
We're asking for compliance by 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
19-1251, 291 Sandpiper Avenue, Jeff 1 LLC.
Code section is 740 and 15132, not maintaining to water's edge, high grass and weeds around tree and along fence. I observed this violation on 8/19/19. Sent out the notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/19/19. I received it back on 8/26/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, signed green card equals service. What would you like?
Compliance by 10/31 or the 11/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1256, 94 Sparrow Lane, Francisco and Gladys Penaloza.
Code section 740 and 6190D, not maintaining to water's edge, planting areas not maintained, uncultivated growth. I observed this violation on 8/20/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/20/19. They signed for it on 8/22/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Welcome to the jungle. Signed green card equals service.
Special Magistrate on this one, Code Section 06190D, which is the planting areas not maintained and uncultivated growth is a finding of fact. And for Code Section 740, we'd be asking for compliance by 10/31 or the 11/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank
Got
you.
a lot of work to do.
19-1257, 96 Sparrow Lane, Evilio Borges.
Code section 15132, 1557, high grass and weeds along fence line and around trees and plants. I observed this violation on 8/20/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/20/19. It was delivered on 8/23/19. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, UPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay, I need a weed eater. You have a track and confirm, so you have service.
We're asking for compliance by 10/31 or the 11/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1258, 158 Sunflower Circle, Jenna M. Gordon and Justin R. Matatal.
Code sections 942, the fence is in disrepair. I observed this violation on 8/20/19. Sent out the notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/20/19. Posted it to the property. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, affidavit of service equals service.
We're asking for compliance by 11/28 or the 12/11 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1273 is being pulled. 19-1291, 163 Dove Circle, Hector B. and Yvette L. McCrae.
Code section 06190A15, the sidewalk is stained. I observed this violation on 8/27/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/27/19. I spoke with the owner on 9/19/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact is granted.
Thank you.
You have service via posting.
19-1292 is being pulled. 19-1293, 147 Heron Parkway, SRP Sub LLC.
Code sections 9.5, the hedge exceeds maximum allowable height. I observed this violation on 8/27/19. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 8/27/19, and it was delivered on 9/3/19. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
People need a ladder. You have a signed green card.
We're asking for compliance by 10/31 or the 11/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
19-1259 is being pulled. Moving to the fine mitigation hearings, the last case, 19-0665, 420 South State Road 7, number 122, Palomod LLC, Ally Recovery Group. Hold on one second, and then I'll explain.
I'll enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order assessing fine. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership.
Okay, so there's a story here, huh?
Not a long one. We're just asking that the fine be reduced to 0. We have the order there for you to sign.
How would I say no?
No.
You don't want me to do that. You want it
No,
fixed.
we don't want you to, but you asked a question. I'm just answering.
Ah. Anything further?
No, sir.
Good. Just bang your stuff around there. Jumpy mouse.